You were never too sensitive. You were just reacting to something real in an environment that needed you to stay quiet. At some point in your life, someone taught you that your emotions were a problem, not by saying it once, but by repeating it subtly, consistently, and emotionally. Why are you making a big deal out of this? You're overreacting. You're too sensitive. And eventually, you learned the most dangerous lesson of all, that feeling deeply was something you needed to apologize for. Psychology has a name for this. It's called emotional invalidation. When your internal experience is dismissed, minimized, or treated as inconvenient. And when this happens repeatedly, especially in childhood, your nervous system adapts in a very specific way. You don't become weak, you become hyper-aware. You start scanning rooms for shifts in tone. You notice micro-expressions others miss. You feel tension before words are spoken. But it goes deeper than just emotions. It's physical. You might be the person who hears the hum of the refrigerator when everyone else ignores it. You might feel scratchy fabric that others find comfortable. You might feel exhausted after just an hour in a crowded room. This is because your brain is literally wired differently. Most people have a neurological filter that blocks out background noise, subtle emotions, and small details so they can focus. But if you are a highly sensitive person, you don't have that filter. You are taking in 100% of the data 100% of the time. You aren't dramatic. You are processing the world in high definition, while everyone else is watching in standard definition. Sensitivity is not the flaw. Sensitivity is the adaptation. Children who grow up with emotionally unavailable, unpredictable, critical, or dismissive caregivers don't get the luxury of ignoring emotional signals. They survive by detecting them early. And later in life, when that same sensitivity shows up in relationships, workplaces, or friendships, people mislabel it. They call it too much. They call it irrational. But psychology tells a different story. What you're experiencing is sensory processing sensitivity. It is a biological trait found in over 100 species, designed to help the group survive by sensing danger before it happens. The problem is not that you feel too deeply. The problem is that you were trained to doubt what you feel. This is why being called too sensitive hurts so deeply, because it doesn't just criticize your reaction, it questions your reality. And when this happens enough times, something subtle shifts inside you. You stop asking, "Why does this hurt me?" and start asking, "What's wrong with me?" That's not growth, that's conditioning, and it follows you into adulthood. You tolerate behavior that makes your chest tighten. You second-guess discomfort. You explain away disrespect. Because somewhere along the way, you learned that trusting your emotions was dangerous. And this is where the real damage begins. Here's the truth most people never hear. Highly sensitive people are not broken. They are unprotected. Your emotions were never taught how to be held, only how to be managed, suppressed, or ignored. Psychologists explain this through the orchid versus dandelion theory. Most people are dandelions. They are resilient. They can grow in concrete, in good soil, or in bad soil. They are fine anywhere. But you are an orchid. Orchids are difficult to keep alive in harsh conditions. They wither easily if the light is wrong or the environment is cold. But, and this is the key, when an orchid is placed in the right environment, it doesn't just survive, it blooms more spectacularly than any dandelion ever could. You have spent your whole life trying to be a dandelion. You have tried to force yourself to grow in concrete, and you have hated yourself for withering. So now, as an adult, you feel deeply and fear the consequences of feeling deeply. That's why you might feel guilty for needing reassurance, apologize for expressing pain, embarrassed after opening up, shut down after being misunderstood. This is not emotional weakness, it's self-protection learned too early. And here's where clarity begins. Sensitivity becomes a liability only when it exists in environments that punish honesty. In the right environment, sensitivity becomes emotional intelligence, deep empathy, strong intuition, psychological insight. The goal is not to become less sensitive. The goal is to stop placing sensitive parts of yourself in unsafe hands. Healing doesn't look like toughening up. Healing looks like learning discernment, knowing when to speak, knowing when to leave, knowing when your body is warning you, not betraying you. And here's something important. People who benefit from your silence will always call your awareness too much, because your sensitivity exposes what others avoid. So the next time someone tells you you're too sensitive, ask yourself this instead. Is my reaction excessive, or is this environment emotionally careless? Because once you learn the difference, something powerful happens. You stop trying to fix yourself. You stop shrinking your emotions. You stop internalizing other people's limitations. And for the first time, your sensitivity stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling what it always was, a signal that your nervous system knows something your mind hasn't fully accepted yet.